Good evening, acolytes. Today, we bring together the Nerd Council of Doom for its June 2025 meeting, the Summer Blast. Gentlemen, how have your plans for world domination been going?
It's all brilliant. It's all brilliant. The Canadian Parliament is utterly frozen. We are planning an invasion of Western New York. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. Never
You're
mind.
welcome to it.
I've suffered a minor setback in the cybernetics department. Our Fembot production was going at breakneck pace until during a software test, 372 of them ordered me to get off my lazy ass, cut the lawn, and clean up around this place. Why don't I? I'm exhausted, so I'll be I'll be working on correcting that.
Well,
Hello, Kennick. Hello, Ultra American.
I have had more luck. I have a new plan for world domination. It's by using necromancy. And I will be raising previously dead IP from the dead. In order to do this, I plan on instigating 15 more Star Wars movies to come out next year in sequence. I will reboot all of the Marvel movies. And as we have seen, there is a new white Black Panther we will be recasting. And I'm thinking the new Highlander movie easily fits that bill. No need for classic heroes and storytelling. So we shall see if necromancy bears fruit within the next couple of years.
And just to answer the same thing we do every night, Joe, try to take over the world.
Yes. Although Star Wars movies, I thought we agreed to lay off the crimes against humanity.
Well, it's summertime, you know.
No, yeah, that's true. We can let our hair down.
It's hot. No one will
those metaphorically speaking. Sorry, gentlemen, those of us that still have a little bit left.
I have it. I just buzz it off real short.
No,
I let it down. I let it down into the garbage after I'm done.
I sacrificed it for wizardly powers.
Yes.
Well, now, Paladin Steve, Necromancer is evil. Yes, especially if she leaves you with hickeys. That's evil.
Absolutely.
That was a dad joke, an inappropriate dad joke.
An inappropriate dad joke from a father,
from an
a father
dad.
a father who is a father.
Father squared.
Yes. Let me see. I'm bringing up some notes because I was so carefully prepared today. And so it's it's a dog day summertime right now. But summer, of course, means movies, gentlemen. And I know we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I do have a page pulled up. Have you guys heard about the Highlander reboot that is bearing down on us now?
There can be only one.
There's
only one.
There should have been only one.
I have it on good authority.
Yeah, should have been only one. I just put a share window over there, Yang. If we want to dive into that. So yeah, Henry Cavill taking the role of Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, and now Cavill takes on passion projects. I mean, he tries to do stuff right. Like when he went to Amazon with a 40K idea, which is, by the way, there's a very hilarious story behind that, but we can save that for another time. But you know, when Amazon started bouncing back, like, okay, who's going to be your Space Marine counterpart woman? And he was like, there are no women space marines. We're not doing that. And Amazon was like, yeah, but yeah, we can play with a little. But he's like, there are no women space marines. We're not doing that. So yeah, there was a whole lot of back and forth. Which, by the way, unless anybody think I'm a knuckle dragging chud, the Sisters of Battle in Warhammer 40K are as capable as the Warhammer Space Marines, and whereas 2/3 of the Space Marine legions, 2/3 of the Space Marine legions went over to Chaos during the Horus Heresy, there has to date, per the lore, ever been one single Sister of Battle, not chapter, not squad, not platoon, one woman of the Sisters of Battle who went over to Chaos. Compare that to tens of thousands of supposedly loyal Space Marines. I know what I prefer: female Space Marines versus the Sisters of Battle, but I'm getting a little far afield. So Cavill is coming at this Highlander reboot, and apparently they have now cast Russell Crowe in the role of Ramirez. So that's going to be interesting. This is all brand new stuff, brand new news that's coming out. There's
what I like about this is that now, instead of Ramirez being a Spaniard with a Scottish accent, it's going to be Ramirez with an Aussie accent.
Yeah. Hello, lose your head and that's it. It's game over.
It's game over. Can anyone just cast a Spaniard? Yeah. Cast a Spaniard for everything. I'm sure they got a Spaniard or two kicking around.
Yeah, Cavill's like, I'm Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. Is your name not Bruce then? That'll cause a bit of confusion.
What happened to Antonio Banderas?
Yeah, well, I mean, good. He's got to have time on his hands.
Yeah.
They can't be still making Spy Kids movies.
Still, I mean, when you look at the insane zigzag that Sean Connery's character goes through, Spaniard, Scottish accent, Japanese sword maker, Egyptian. Didn't he like all the way back at the beginning he was Egyptian? Didn't they establish that? Yeah. So Egyptian, Spanish, Japanese, Scottish. As far as I'm concerned, Russell Crowe stepping into those boots, it's just like, sure, why not? If you're gonna reboot it, it's certainly no weirder. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my headcanon is there was precisely one Highlander movie. There was no 2, there was no 3, there was no Endgame, and there certainly wasn't that. The TV show is, if you haven't seen it, it is the most 90s TV fantasy show ever. Well, you could not make something more 90s.
Not even Hercules.
Not even Xena. No, not even Princess? Hercules. Wow. It is. It is.
I have to disagree.
Go ahead.
Because there was a crossover where Amanda from the Highlander became a detective with some cop who wore a trench coat and sunglasses everywhere. That was like, you concentrated the 90s in the Highlander, and you had that show. I think it was called Raven something or another.
Okay.
Oh, wasn't that a Bill Cosby spinoff?
That was a different one.
That's but no, the just boiling it down, the Highlander TV series it was like they just gave him a checklist and said, make sure you do all these things. Okay, we're filming in British Columbia, every outdoor scene, and passing it off as Europe, Asia, alien planets. Check. Okay, we're filming in Vancouver and claiming it's New York City. Check. It's like, that's tick
standard.
Every box. For 90s, you've got $750,000 per episode and not a penny more. Sci-fi TV drama, and that was
Puddin' Pops.
that was your bog standard show back then. So we're getting the reboot. We're getting Cavill, we're getting Crow. No word yet on who's going to play. I think her name was Amanda, the love interest in
Here she is. Highlander the Raven. Immortality is a bitch. And
that's so Raven.
Let me zoom in a little more here. I just want to check out her leather bustier. And he's wearing a tidy whitey t-shirt with his gun holster. I mean, is there any more peak 90s than this?
He could have a barbed wire tattoo or a frog on his neck. That's
true.
Yeah. A tribal bicep tattoo, or again, a frog on his neck. I can't tell from that shot. I'll have to zoom in. Does he have a pierced earlobe? I can't tell. I don't know if that's an artifact or if that's a piercing, but that could be more 90s. But other than that, I mean, and that's just set dressing. That's pretty 90s as well. I'll give you that. That is pretty 90s.
Michael, I have no idea. Wherever you want to go, I shared the link from the Nerd Council of Doom channel earlier, and then as I was logging in, I discovered I could now do what I hadn't been able to do before, which was simulcast to my channel. So I did. It's wherever it's all the same. We all get the same metrics here.
So we're shared, and if are we doing the three view? Are we doing the side by side, Payton? What are we doing, Captain?
Well, in order to get the chat on the screen.
Okay, I'll turn the arcade on then.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. You can, we can see them. Well, you've got the widest shot because you've got the most interesting background behind you.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is what it is.
I mean, I've got my bookshelf and occasionally one of my kids or my dogs, so I try to keep them off screen. My dog, singular dog.
Now, the other question I have with Highlander is, how are they ever going to be Clancy Brown's version of the Kurgan?
I don't. They're supposed to get Dave Bautista in, I think, to play the Kurgan. I mean, Dave Bautista was a lot of fun in Guardians, but
he was. But the Kurgan's not supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. The Kurgan's not supposed to be fun, and I'm sorry, Clancy Brown is the Highlander. He is the Highlander's opponent. He is the Kurgan. He is the Kurgan. There is no, we'll reintroduce the Kurgan. I'm sorry, if you're not hearing a satanic Mr. Krabs, we don't have the Kurgan.
I want to say there's somebody, and I don't know if the original actor's still even alive, and what kind of shape he's in. And I have no idea if this guy's alive, and I can't remember his actual name. He's not actually an actor. He's a martial artist. He played Felix La Poubelle in Grosse Point Blank. I could see him as the Kurgan. I could see him in that role. He's got that sort of, is he really a human kind of look to him? And he's ferocious. I think he would do it really well.
Well, are you talking about the assassin that went after John Cusack?
He's a kickboxer. Yeah, he's not an actor. He's a kickboxer. But, you know, I mean, like, how much real acting does the Kurgan require? I mean,
whoa! I mean,
if you're already like,
I don't know. I don't know. Clancy Brown kind of. I mean, Clancy Brown has got a range. I mean, showing my daughter like Highlander and then telling her that's Mr. Krabs, and she's like, what? The first time I explained that to her, and then now it was also a 90s thing, and it was also not good, but he was on a show called Earth 2. We used to joke final score Earth 2 Babylon 5. But he was on Earth 2, and he was a gentle, considerate, thoughtful person. I think Clancy Brown is a talented actor, and I think for the Kurgan it definitely required some nuance. I think I do remember apparently him putting out the prayer candles was a bit of
Yeah.
improvisation. That was filmed in a real church, and those were real prayer candles that had been lit by parishioners. He was not supposed to do that, and that made some very, very angry church officials when he's like, and he's putting, because he didn't know. Nobody said, yeah, hey,
Right.
this is actually,
He thought
knew
it was
to be
set dressing. Yeah.
he thought it was set dressing. They knew to be respective. And he did not realize that nuns that were walking past were actual nuns in the church. So when he does it, so here's poor Clancy Brown just chewing the scenery to make this work better, and he's pissing off the entire area diocese. I'm sure the production company was sending out lots of apology letters. But anyway, is Farscape related? Is Farscape related to what?
To Highlander?
No, I don't think it is. Farscape is very much its own thing.
Did they ever go to Zeist in Farscape?
What is Zeist, Yang? That doesn't exist.
You know what? This might get me revoked from the council, but I actually liked the second one if you watch the director's cut.
Yeah. What's his name? Mulcahy. The guy who directed it, he did his best to cut it back into being a Highlander movie. I mean, it's still like he raises it from 0 out of 10 stars to 3 out of 10 stars.
Yeah,
which is a huge leap. I mean, that's like it is what it is. But I will give him props for attempting to salvage something out of the wreckage. I kind of view it like Flight of the Phoenix, it was a plane wreck. It was a complete and total plane wreck. Can I make this thing fly again and at least get us to safety? And he kind of did. So,
kind of something.
Kind of something. But no, Farscape is its own thing. But Thomas, you bring up, I think Ben Browder could be a pretty good. Wait, no, not Ben Browder. The guy who played Dargo, and I'm forgetting the actor's name. I think he could probably pull off a good Kurgan.
But okay, my only problem with the suggestion of the guy from Gross Point Blank and the guy from Farscape, weren't those made in the 90s? Like, it's 30 years later. Are they?
Yeah,
they're
what
like
I'm thinking.
Middle-aged Kurgan is just not as fun as.
I suffer from that classic Gen X thing that the 90s were just a couple years ago. It doesn't matter. Once we passed 2000, time stopped. And so, yeah, the 90s, just a few years ago.
Yeah.
It stopped, but there really wasn't a whole lot worth remembering.
That's true. That's why it stopped. There's no great cultural landmarks. Not many, at least. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and I made the case that somebody posted up about, what was it? Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair was released like this past Thursday in 1983 or something like that. And I just said, haha, wow, yeah, that was almost 20 years ago. Crazy, huh? Because I have to cling to that. To that. That was not over 40 years ago. I refuse to believe it. I flatly refuse to believe it.
Well, thank you, Star Blazer, for that's probably over on Bill's channel for the super chat.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll let's see, 279 Canadian. Gentlemen, you will get your 78-cent checks in the mail.
Hey now.
Now, and if I could lay one last criticism for Dave Bautista, he has been good in many movies, but the problem is he has gone vegan since he was in the last Guardians movie.
Yeah.
He looks significantly smaller, and he's got like that old lady turkey neck thing going. I mean,
well, he's also just older too, right?
Can we really have a vegan Kurgan though? That just doesn't.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, this is.
He'd go into the burger shop and he'd say, "There can be only bun." Sorry,
Boo.
sorry.
Boo. Yeah, so I'm pulling up a picture here. Let me share this. There used to be this website, and I'm going to get us in trouble, but I don't care. There used to be this website titled Men Who Look Like Old Lesbians.com.
Oh,
And
Bill.
I mean, just some of them were
Yeah.
hilarious. It's like,
there goes that super chat.
yeah,
Like he's getting closer and closer to Gandhi every day.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Kurgan with a string of pearls, however you want to take that to mean, just doesn't seem right.
I
Yeah.
assume he wouldn't wear those. I assume he'd be given a costume. But
Yeah, but
wearing
I'm
pearls
still
now.
going to see it.
Yeah, I it just, yeah, I
mean,
What
the
can
only
I
thing
say?
the only thing worse would be if they try to make John Cena into the Kurgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, or The Rock or something.
I don't know. Where were you hiding, McLeod? I don't know where Taiwan is.
Yeah, exactly. John Cena. No, what was it I saw him referred to as Zhang Xinhua? Yeah. Mr. 10-minute apology to the Chi Coms. Anyway, hey, Michael Dale, thank you for the super. Since we're talking movies, will Spaceball 2 fall victim to the current Hollywood slop factor, or will melt out all the stops on the way? Look, I know we're all kind of hyped for Spaceballs 2, and let me, you know what? Let me see if I can pull up. Let's see, Spaceballs 2. And again, I apologize. This is from Screen Rant. I know we're not super fans of Screen Rant, but they do somewhat good reportage. So in case you are unaware, Spaceballs 2 has been announced, and yes, they are getting Rick Moranis back. Now,
they have to.
When we talk about when we talk about the great movies of a certain age, when we talk about the great films of Mel Brooks, we think about History of the World, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, The Producers. I mean, he had a run in the early 70s that are some of the funniest things ever put to film. But then, you know, he had some stuff that wasn't so good. So,
yeah.
I mean, I thought Spaceballs was a damn good spoof of the sci-fi genre.
Young Frankenstein was sheer genius.
Young Frankenstein is probably one of the greatest films ever made.
Peak Brooks.
And
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, I can't say enough good about Blazing Saddles. Like, Alien comes down to Earth and says, "Show me human comedy." I'll be like, these two movies. Sit, I will explain. Right. But I don't. Is this gonna be peak Brooks? Are we gonna get another Blazing Saddles? Are we gonna get another Young Frankenstein level comedy? And the thing about it is, if you know a little bit about the production of, and this is one of my favorite stories about this movie, Young Frankenstein, after they had shot the movie, they had a little over 2 hours of film. And I remember watching an interview with Gene Wilder, and Gene Wilder sat down, said they were all sitting down. There was Mel Brooks, there was Wilder, there's everybody who had a hand in this movie. And he said that the person who was going to edit the movie had screened it and said, "What you have here is 2 hours of awful film. If you will give me a couple of weeks, I can give you an hour and 10 minutes of passable film. If you give me 4 weeks, I can give you I can give you 100 minutes of great film." And that is the case of a movie that was saved in the edit. Now, as we know, there are many things that you look at and you're like, man, that really could have used an editor, whether it's book or film. I mean, God rest his soul, Tom Clancy really needed an editor for his last few Jack Ryan books. I mean, 1,500 small type pages in a paperback. That's bloated. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We can cut the Japanese ambassador subplot out there. There's 200 pages. We can just slice out, Tom. And nobody's going to be the wiser. You can tighten this up. So the question is, how will it come out on the other side of an edit? Or will Mel just go, no, it's all funny, leave it in, it's good stuff, and the jokes are falling flat? I mean, that's going to be the big the big make or break.
I found like Men in Tights was, it's on its way down. He can really get stuck on. It's almost like as if he was making it for stage, right? That the timing is more vaudeville stage than movie. It just doesn't. And the other thing, though, and I was thinking about this as we were talking there, the two greats of Mel Brooks' work, Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. They had a common theme, and that was Gene Wilder, right? And he wasn't in Spaceballs. And Spaceballs was very funny, but it wasn't anywhere near those two. You can kind of see the drop off, and so it's almost as if Brooks is an artist who works in the medium of Gene Wilder. And when he tries to do other mediums, it just doesn't quite. He tries to work with Cary Elwes, and it just doesn't quite go as well.
I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, one of the biggest fears I had as a kid, other than nuclear war and failing grades, was Harrison Ford not coming back as Han Solo. I mean, we didn't have the internet, and when you're 8 years old living in Gadsden, Alabama, you're not reading Variety, right? It's just not getting delivered to the house. So, will Han Solo come back? Won't Han Solo come back? And then he got frozen in carbonite, and everybody is like, they're just going to kill him off between the movies. And, I was on pins and needles because I was like, that is Han Solo. If you take Han Solo out, how does a Star Wars movie work without Harrison Ford? And as Disney showed us, not too fucking well.
It doesn't.
It doesn't at all. But I didn't think that, or rather, I'm sorry, I don't know that we get a good Mel Brooks comedy without Gene Wilder. I mean, again, producers, Young Frankenstein,
the other one,
Blazing Saddles.
I do think there's potentially one other problem that haven't considered, which is if you look at a lot of those movies, the producers and also Blazing Saddles, there was a lot of stuff that Mel Brooks, he just flat out lied to the studios, like, yeah, we're going to cut that, don't worry. And then he left it in. The question is, how old is the guy? Like 90 some years
96. Now? He is 96 years old.
It could make him braver.
It could go the opposite way, but does a 96-year-old Mel Brooks have the energy to lie to studios like that?
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't have anything like, what are they going to do? Destroy his career? Like,
yeah, exactly. Cancel Mel Brooks, and then he passes away the next year.
Yeah, he's got like, I mean, God willing, he's got many years left, but I don't think so.
Yeah. So the other comedy that's coming up is, of course, the reboot of Naked Gun. That is right around the corner. I've seen the trailer. I think it looks hilarious.
I have to say that the Liam Neeson would not have been who I expected them to cast.
But in the 1980s with Police Squad, Leslie Nielsen, which personally I think it's brilliant that they went with Liam Neeson after Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
But Leslie Nielsen, I mean, you look at his film roles prior to Airplane and Police Squad, and then the films that he did with the Zuckers later. Um, he was he was a serious actor. I mean, like he played like he played the heavy in a lot of movies, like
Yeah.
not a nice person in a lot of the movies he did. So I absolutely adore the fact that they've gotten Liam Neeson in this after 2+ decades of I have a certain set of skills. I don't know who you are. If you free my daughter, all this will be forgotten. You know,
I would love it if they spoofed that.
Oh, you know they're gonna spoof
What I do
that.
have is a very particular set of skills.
You know they're gonna spoof that.
I could cook a mean tortellini.
Yeah, they would be fools to not spoof that.
No.
And in my Seth Rogen, I get it. Seth Rogen is as tedious can come. I think only Jack Black is more tedious when it comes to comedy people in Hollywood. If you guys couldn't see my massive sartalics there, but I from what I've seen in the trailer, everything is on point. I can absolutely see Leslie Nielsen doing these gags and them landing both feet dead center every time. This is and the way that they're doing it. This is Frank Drebin's son, and he's equally incompetent. This is not a spoiler. This is in the trailer. I haven't had a sneak preview of the film or anything other than what you guys have seen. But there's a bit where he's kneeling at a shrine to his dad in the LAPD offices, and he's like, "I hope you're proud of me, Father." There is like a wall, like a half a block long, and there's all these other people kneeling in front of
their dead fathers. Yeah,
and then they get to the one where there's a young black police officer and he's kneeling down, and there's a picture of O.J. Simpson, and he starts to speak and he goes, "Nah." I mean, that tells me that Rogen knows what he's doing, and it's a shame that Jerry Abrams passed away, and this is not going to be a ZAZ. I think, and particularly based on the comedic chops he showed in the interview, I think we're going to get a good movie here from a production and direction standpoint. And I think I just in the trailers, what I've seen is that Liam Neeson is embracing this role just like Leslie Nielsen did 40 years ago. So,
well, and the other thing is the sort of a police academy and these kinds of movies are less. They're broader, right? They're bigger. The comedy isn't quite as finessed as good Mel Brooks is, right? It's more
right,
right across the side of the head. So it doesn't require quite as much of a light touch.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Leslie Nielsen decried about the fact that Police Squad was like a 6-week summer show on ABC back in the 80s, and when he was talking about why it didn't get picked up and developed, he's like, because you had to pay attention to it, because they were literally just the jokes came nonstop. He said, I think today if you did it, this obviously before he passed away, he said, I think today if you did it with today's culture, people would be pausing the video, they would be watching it, they'd be backing up to see jokes, and it would have been huge. But back then we literally just there's stuff in the background, there's verbal puns that are like 3 words long, and then we moved on. And I think he's right. So I think the Naked Gun movie, I like the way it looks, and I'm rooting for this one. I think it could be great. And Michael Connor points out Liam Neeson played in the Lego movie. He played the good cop and the
Yeah.
bad cop in the Lego movie. I think he understands how deadpan parody humor
Oh.
works.
I think judging by the
Yeah.
trailer, yeah, I think he absolutely does.
I'm just concerned with modern humor. I mean, oh my gosh, Abrams brothers. I really love their specific style of humor, which was something funny is happening in the front, and
Mhm.
then sometimes you have to get out dialogue and exposition for the movie to make sense. In which case, nothing funny is happening in the front. That's when they put everything funny in the back.
In the background, yeah.
I'm concerned that they're going to mess that up and just put like too much funny on the screen at one time and mess it up. However, it is Seth MacFarlane producing it. So, as much as I don't like him as a person, I think he did do a good job with his basically a Star Trek reboot show. So, hopefully, it would be nice to get a viable comedy scene back in movies.
Yeah.
Well, you have to. Yeah, I mean, especially with this kind of movie, you have to be willing to offend. Both with
Yes.
Brooks and the Police Academy, Naked Gun, Airplane kind of movies, you have to be willing to offend, and whether or not they can do that now is
and I mean
that'll be the test.
The opening scene when I'm forgetting the actor's name now. He was the pilot of the jet in Airplane, when he's walking through the airport and he has the different younger folks back in the day before airports got really locked down. Yes, walking through an airport, you would be accosted in a major city. You would be accosted by panhandlers
Everyone.
for various religious groups.
Hare Krishna,
Scientologists, Sun Young Moon.
Oh
the
yeah.
Moonies, the Moonies.
Yeah, the Moonies. And it really, like, it could really feel like you're running a gauntlet. And I mean, the first 5 minutes, he is offending every religious stripe. It's like he judo throws a Jews for Jesus guy. Like, he does that wicked kung fu roll over another guy's shoulder and punches a Hare Krishna. It is, if we get that level of subtlety, and that was subtle. Yes, it was slapstick comedy, but there was a subtlety to it. Then I think I think we'll have a good Naked Gun movie. And by the way, I said Seth Rogen earlier. Seth MacFarlane. I apologize for that. That was
well, apparently he is involved with the movie, but I'm not sure as what. He might just be in it somewhere.
Okay. So yeah, old lady getting slammed up against a wall with terrorists just walking through. And another great Abrams Zucker film was Top Secret.
Yes.
I mean,
speaking of offensive, that one was.
Speaking of offensive,
hilariously so.
Yeah.
Didn't they make the Hot Shot movies as well?
Yeah, Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2 were a Jerry Zucker movie. But anyway, so it looks good. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
Go on.
I believe today is free role-playing game day.
Free RPG day. That's right. It is free RPG day. And I was going to try and get down to the FLGS. I did not have enough time to do that and to get back here to Control Central. But let me see if I can bring this up, because their website. Let me see if I can bring this up, and we will share this. So it is today, and we'll go straight to the 4Gamers page, because I don't think you guys are. Let's see. I'll put the link in the chat real quick, and There we go. So you guys can check that out.
I think that's in
But
the private. That looks like it's in the private chat there, Bill.
Yes.
Yes.
So we can look at it.
Yes.
I thought you wanted everyone to see it.
Well, I do want everyone to see it. But anyway, so yeah, free RPG Day. You can check it out. Find a local store. Support your FLGS. Don't just dig around and find PDFs out there that you can pick up for free today. Now, the only thing this sticks under my bridge work. Free RPG Day used to coincide with the birthday of Gary Gygax. It got changed. Which works out for me because next month I'm going to head up to Wisconsin. I'm going to EggCon, where they're going to have me as a motivational speaker to convince people to follow the Nerd Council of Doom. No, I'm going up there to run some games. But yes, it used to be Gary Gygax's birthday that they had free RPG Day on. I have theories about why they changed it, but I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you guys want to go with listening to me get all conspiracy theory on that topic. But guys, after you listen to the NCOD, hop in your cars, jump on your bicycles, perambulate via foot to your favorite local game store and show them some love. Pick up some free RPGs, and I am sure they will appreciate it. What con in Wisconsin? EggCon is what it is. And I can actually, if I change this here, will this actually? Yes, it looks like it will. Let's see.
The Egg of Coot.
Yes. EggCon.fun. That is it. EggCon 2. That is July 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. 4 days of goodness. And I'll be kicking around for at least some of those. But don't want to get too far off track. Yeah, support your favorite local gaming store. Pick up some free RPGs, which I don't know if that counts as support. Hey, yeah, glad to know you guys are here. I didn't know you were here. Give me some free stuff.
Give me stuff.
Yeah, give me some free stuff. So,
home of cold and cheese and Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right. Birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm keen to see what's available. I will try and get out to my FLGS today. They're 45 minutes in one direction from me.
And because you're in Florida, that's like 3 blocks, you know.
Yeah, no, it is. There is a famous picture. We have a road that runs across the middle of the state. Yang, you've been here a few times. Padre, I don't know if you have, but
I've never been down to Florida. No.
The belt that kind of runs across the pants that is Florida is called I-4, Interstate 4, and there's a point at which you are within the city limits of Orlando. I don't live in Orlando. I live on the northeast side of Orlando. But if I'm going on I-4, I will go through Orlando if I'm headed west. Because it runs south through Orlando. I'll let you guys figure that out later if you ever come here. But there is a famous picture of one of the infinite traffic jams on I-4. And at the point at which you cross into the city limits of Orlando, there is a sky bridge. And there's beautiful brass letters. They keep them polished, nice and golden. And it says Orlando, spells out the name of the city. And someone took a picture right there and put a caption on it that says, Orlando, even when you're here, you're still an hour away from Orlando because the city center is way off in the background from that point. The city limits is that far out. And it's true. It's true. If you come to Orlando, you are still going to be an hour away from Orlando, whatever route you take. But yeah, I will try and get down to my FLGS this afternoon / evening and see what's going on. I love Todd and Anna down there. So I hope I get a chance to see him. But Yang, for those who maybe don't have an FLGS, what does the council have
Such as TXG, who does not have an FLGS there.
Such as TXG. TXG, I don't do a stream regularly. I am streaming over on my YouTube and my Twitter, the Nerd Council of Doom, to spread the good word out to even more people. But at any rate, Yang, for our friends who do not have an FLGS near them, do we have some goodies for them on Free RPG Day?
We do. We have 2 giveaways for our faithful acolytes as our way of saying thanks for your continued service and putting 1 like or subscription into the basket.
That's right. Throw us a like, throw us a subscribe. We appreciate it, and we will be giving away some goodies today. Do we want to tell now, or do we want to a little closer to the drawing, gentlemen? What do you think?
I'm okay for either.
We could whet the appetite now.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So, I am throwing in the basket a helpful little application that I have ginned up in the programming language Python. Although you don't need to know anything about coding, all you need is a Windows computer and an unnatural love for first edition advanced D&D by the book rules. It is a copy of Crom. That's right, the character record organization manager software written by yours truly to create and manage all your first edition characters. It is 100% feature complete and entirely rules adhering. Level a character up, drain levels, age them, buy equipment for them, add treasure, remove treasure, dual class, multi-class, create a bard, check for psionics. It's got everything you could want, and you can output your character in both HTML and text. It is a lightweight text program that is, well, I just think it's the best out there for 1E, and it is available on Windows machines. So if you're interested in winning a free copy of Crom today, we're giving one away. Yang, what have you got for him?
I am throwing in a copy of Fairy Hill. 1 adventure module, good for between 3 and 6 hours of fantastic gameplay, written by one Bill Sylvie. Fairy Hill takes place in the world of Empire of the Undying Sun, but is fully a standalone module that is easy for you to plop into any campaign that you have going. There have been missing children, and you and your party are asked to go find what the heck happened to those kids.
Very good.
Yes, it is a cool module, and I had a ton of fun writing it. So I think you guys will enjoy it. Padre?
I have 1 copy of, it is a reprint, but of the Saber River, which is a companion adventure and has all sorts of terribly cool things in it. Some beautiful old school art. And it introduced one of my favorite monsters. I've got to find him in here. Where'd he go? I promise he's in here. Yes. The Saber Claw. They're pretty cool. So this is, it's a reprint. So it's in very good condition because it hasn't survived from the 80s, unlike me, who has, and I'm in very bad condition. But this module for the lucky winner who plays the best version, back me.
All right. So there we go, guys. And Yang, when are we going to do that? When are we going to do that giveaway?
We could do it now or at the end, closer to the
I
end.
think, I think let's. I don't know.
Let's build suspense a bit.
Let's build suspense.
All right.
Let's we'll do it. We'll do it at the end of the show.
It's like making your kids wait to open Christmas presents.
Just
builds
so.
character, or so we'll tell. So we'll tell the audience.
It builds character. So now I will say that with regard to Crom, I will need an email address to send the download link to. So if you win, gosh, I guess for whoever wins, drop me an email, and I will provide this at the end of the show. So you're not going to have to panic and try and remember. Right. But you will you will have a chance to get that. I'll send you the download link. It is the latest build, and by the way, if you've purchased Crom lately and you are not up to 1.5 G, that's G for Gygax. If you're not up to 1.5 G, also reach out and let me know, and I will send you a link to the latest build. There's little, I see little quality of life things in the software, and I'm like, ooh, that shouldn't be doing that. And then I go in and I fix them. That is how software evolves. I just did not want to wait for ever. I didn't want to I didn't want to end up letting perfect be the enemy of good enough. It didn't cause your computer to explode. It didn't send all your money to a suspicious offshore crypto account. So as far as I was concerned, it was good to go.
And obviously I will need an actual address so I can come and stalk you. I mean, so that I can mail this to you.
A dungeon minister would never show up in his stealth cassock.
I'll be at the door with this in one hand and the Bible in the other, saying, "Have you considered?"
Do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior, Dungeons and Dragons? But anyway, Joe's stepping out of the running. He has Crom and Saber River. Well, Joe, thank you very much for purchasing Crom, and Saber River is an interesting module, I'm sure. And he's won drawings. I think Joe has won, he won one of the Christmas drawings, and then he won one of the drawings I did at Guac, which of course the great underground online gaming division. So Joe's basically blessed. He has a Luckstone or something in his back pocket. So Joe's gonna sit out, and I completely understand that. But you don't have to, guys. You don't have to. You can keep raking in the prizes, and that's just fine. But that will be more towards the end of the show that we do our free RPG Day drawings. And but back on with the stuff. Speaking of RPGs, I got to find. Let me see. Got to find my link here because I thought this was pretty. Let's see. It's Highlander. I may have lost it. I may have inadvertently closed this out. Let's see. So, any of you guys play the Tomb Raider games on the PlayStation?
I played the original.
Did any of you ask around your friends at school about the supposed new Lara Croft codes that you could get? Because the doorstop breasts that just come to a single triangular point in front of her.
I remember playing. I didn't have a system that played it, but I played. A friend did, and I played the sort of training thing where you're running around the mansion, and I think I died in the training.
It was possible.
Bad I was in video games.
Yeah, there was a pool section in the demo where you could train in the mansion, and if you dove in the water and just stayed underwater, you could die. I think in an early PC demo there was also a soft lock, like you could fall down behind some crates
Yeah.
You wouldn't die, but like you could fall down behind some crates, and she couldn't jump high enough to hit the point. They fixed it pretty quickly, but anyway, so Tomb Raider, of course, launched an exceptionally popular media franchise. Tomb Raider 2, 3, 4, a couple 2 or 3 PC reboots and console reboots. And over that time, the games have gotten more and more convoluted, and Lara's bust size has gotten smaller and smaller. But so apparently, and I wasn't really hip to this. It just kind of flickered up on my radar a couple times. But apparently, a couple times in the past, or not a couple times in the past, but recently in the past, an RPG company called Evil Hat. I'm not familiar with them or their stuff, but Evil Hat was working on a pen and paper TTRPG. And Fighter Steve, of course, has got that there. But apparently that is not happening now. They had hyped this up. They had built this up. But according to Fandom Pulse, let me just share that real quick. According to Fandom Pulse, it's not happening now. And this is Tomb Raider tabletop RPG scrapped after Evil Hat Productions activists, designers alienate core fan base. And this is from a couple days ago from over on Fandom Pulse. It turns out that when your core audience are tabletop RPG nerds and video game nerds, telling them that they're all disgusting basement dwelling man babies and the future is whatever this is, whatever the this cast of characters that look like they escaped from the Dustborn video game is. And we can zoom in on that because
they always look the same.
They always look the same for their vaunted diversity. They always look the same. So, guys, you want to take a crack at who the villain in that lineup is of that 4? Anybody? I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'd be willing to bet she's not on the left or on the right hand side 3. But anyway, so yes, this has been canceled, and according to Fandom Pulse, they were developing a Tomb Raider tabletop RPG, which I'm just going to pump the brakes. My fellow tabletop nerds, did we even need it? I mean, this is something you can emulate with any number of generic RPGs, from Kyle Schwant's masterful conflict RPG. Hero System can do this. Mercenary Spies and Private Eyes, or even the Indiana Jones RPG from back in the day from TSR. You could run a Tomb Raider game. And the problem with any X property video game being turned into a TTRPG is you're not the person that is the focus of the game. You're not. If you play Star Wars, the RPG, which is based on movies, unless you're just running it as a party game or a one shot, you know, who doesn't get to be Luke Skywalker? Who doesn't get to be Han Solo?
Yep.
But anyway, so it goes on to say they had a presidential preference that they signed up with. I don't know about this, but they signed up supporting one particular presidential candidate. When rumors of the project surfaced, along with concept art, fans were tepid about the project, and it came quickly. It came out quickly that the lead writer was. I apologize in advance for mutilating this last name, but Ray Nejadi, a self-described Filipino Algerian and as queer as you would expect. He listed his ex-bio as he, they, pointing out he's a Nebula winner from the SFWA and also saying he's queer, transmasc, disabled. Anyway. So here's the interesting thing. Crystal Dynamics, the software company that made it, had an in-house free Tomb Raider TTRPG. They had one. It was written. It was done. And despite this, Crystal Dynamics ignored their employees' works and went to Evil Hat Productions to develop it anyway. The author actually offered to use his free version and help Evil Hat create a version, but was shot down in the process. Evil Hat wanted the woke version, according to our insider. It seems that it was Evil Hat's undoing in the whole process, as the project is now gone and no longer in development, leaving Tomb Raider fans without a tabletop RPG game, but probably for the better given what they were doing with the property. So broadly, what do you guys think of video game tabletop RPG properties? I mean, certainly this is definitely a news of all time that this got canceled. But see, like if you said to me, Bill, you like the Half-Life setting? Yeah, I love it. Okay, we're gonna do a Half-Life TTRPG. Well, unless you're Gordon Freeman or Alex Vance or maybe Dr. Kleiner, or Alex's dad or Barney, that's like 5 people. You're just one of the faceless citizens who's going to get slaughtered by the Combine. That's like, I get it that it would be a fascinating world to explore, this post-apocalypse Earth that's being gradually reduced to an uninhabitable rock by the evil alien Combine, but I don't like, how sustainable is it when you are not the hero who's going to overthrow the Combine, blow up the Death Star, raid the tomb? Gentlemen?
Playing off to the side. It can be. There can be a way to do it where even though you're not Luke Skywalker, if you don't do your bit, Luke Skywalker won't be able to do his bit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there is that sort of as long as, you know, you accomplish your mission, you actually, what you do is you create the conditions for. So really, when it comes down to it, like the just staying with Star Wars, you know, Han and Leia and Chewie, etc., going down to Endor. That wasn't the objective. Wasn't to blow up the base on Endor. The objective was to blow up the Death Star, but you had to do the one before you could do the other, right?
Right.
So I could see that would be, and actually in that one, Luke Skywalker is sort of on side quest, because you think about it, other than rescuing the guy that we've hated for 2.5 movies, except for saving him, he accomplishes the Emperor. I don't care what the new Star Wars say. The Emperor dies. You know, he would have died regardless. He didn't have to be thrown down the nuclear shaft. He could have just died when the whole thing blew up, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So really, Luke Skywalker is sort of Indiana Jones in that one. There's not a lot that gets done other than he gets the corpse of his father off of the station. You know, so I think it can work. It's obviously more fun. Like, I don't know, when you were a kid, did you ever play Star Wars? Like, I'm Trooper number 3. You know, I'm gonna get shot in the first scene.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a random sand person that gets chased off by Obi-Wan.
Yeah. But I think it can be done. But.
Yeah, I think part of the issue too is that the world that this inhabits has to be interesting enough. Like, you could play in the Star Trek universe on another ship, you know, and you and your party are a different crew. It doesn't have to be the Enterprise, but it still has to be that world where you're going on adventures and your space battles and whatnot. The problem with Tomb Raider is the world is just our world. You know, like what are you going to do? Like, on my turn, I want to get a job as a professor at a university. Like, you know, if you're not Laura Croft, who are you?
Well, presumably you'd be someone else pursuing a similar thing, maybe an associate of Croft's and an opponent. Maybe you're trying to thwart her, you know.
Well, but that's the thing. If you're an associate of hers, or like, to use your analogy of, you know, like blowing up Endor or something, if you would be like the guy who spends 3 weeks in Oxford Library looking up old books, that's not super exciting to play.
Yeah. Although, given the crowd on the cover of that Tomb Raider, I'd say that you know, their day job when they're not raiding tombs is barista.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I think in the case of a Tomb Raider RPG, again, there's you know, so there's been, I know there's a hardcore fan out there who's going to call me on the carpet for this, but there's been what, 6 Tomb Raider video games? I mean, mainline. I'm not talking about mobile crap for flip phones from the 1990s, or, you know, side scrollers that your grandma bought you for your Game Boy. I mean, main 3D games. But so that means that there's been 6 total period crises that have faced the world where you've had to get this MacGuffin.
Yeah, well, there's always a certain. I mean, like the same thing goes for murder mystery series. I mean, how many times does Agatha Christie happen to be staying at a hotel where someone gets killed? I mean, not Agatha Christie. What's her character's name?
Angela
Lansbury. Murder She Writes. Angela Lansbury. How often could she possibly be on holiday in a place where people like just stay away from that woman? Really.
Cabot Cove has a higher murder rate than like
Chicago.
Exactly. Like, it'd literally be safer living on the south side of Chicago than you would be in Cabot Cove. You are going to die if you live in Cabot Cove. It's just not a good move.
Slightly off track, but I read a fascinating internet thesis a few years ago about how Angela Lansbury's character was actually a serial killer. And this was all like the whole series was her cover for how she could kill so many people.
That's brilliant. I really like the Brother Cadfael mysteries. You know, they're great little books. But how many murders does one monk end up witnessing? I know the Middle Ages were more violent, generally speaking, but how many murders does one monk see in a lifetime? You know, it's always the thing. Maybe he's the serial killer too.
You never know.
Was it? I apologize for this. I know them by name. Padre, were the Brother Cadfael? Was that Ian Holm?
No, Derek Jacobi.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I knew. I was close to the bullseye. You were
in the right. You had the right nationality. You had the right generation. You were.
So, but yeah, the little tiny bit of the Brother Cadfael, that's good stuff. But again, it's like if somebody said, "Oh, what do you do?" Well, I'm a detective. Bye. I mean, statistically speaking, you've got a lesser chance of rolling a nat 20 than you do of getting whacked if you're hanging around a detective. And again, Cabot Cove more dangerous than South Chicago.
Well, they things like superhero genre sort of builds in a self-perpetuation, because the idea being that once the superhero rises up to defeat the bad guy, other people see the superhero and they want to knock him down, right? They want to knock her down. So they rise up to try to, and it attracts evil, this presence of good. So that's sort of Superman on trial thing, right? He's actually the problem in addition to being the solution kind of idea. But yeah, with a Tomb Raider, how many buried artifacts are going to cause havoc in the world, unless the past was a much more violent and mystical time than we know, which I suppose is the premise.
Yeah. I just feel like there's just a juncture at which it's like, again, if you're not playing as Lara Croft, if you're not playing as Indiana Jones, what are you doing out there? What is my character? It's like, oh, well, you're having adventures too. You're finding all this cool stuff. Yeah, but she's over there. She's finding the mystic golden platter that's got the formula that's going to stop the comet from hitting the Earth. What did we get?
Indian arrowheads.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so well, digging in this dirt mound in Arkansas, you find some pottery shards, I guess.
Well,
You know?
well, as Fate Master Cesium there points out, and by the way, if you don't know his channel, check it out. He's awesome. You don't, like in the 84 TSR Indiana Jones, you didn't play Indiana Jones. You didn't even play one of the side characters. You played someone totally different, and you generated stories on your own, right? So it wasn't even so much that Indiana Jones was over there somewhere. It's just you're in that world. You're going to play that style, you know. I mean, the same could be said of Dungeons and Dragons, though. How many world-ending events does a campaign involve? And then, you know, 3 doors down, someone else is playing too, and they're playing world-ending events as well. So, you know, it's just,
yeah, but they're playing in their own campaign setting, and D&D doesn't. D&D is a priori for the players. That, unless you're doing Forgotten Realms or Dragonlance, there is no other people are doing more important things over here. What you're doing is important too. You know, and I just feel like when, even if it's a property I love, again, I think Half-Life is probably the greatest video game ever, in my opinion. Half-Life, Blue Shift, Decay, and Opposing Force, and then Half-Life 2 and the episodes, and yes, even Portal 1 and Portal 2. I think that is it's a magnificent universe, but I think not being Gordon Freeman in that world would be pointless. You could just say, okay, this is set in XYZ apocalypse, or otherwise you say this is the Indiana Jones setting, but Indiana Jones doesn't exist. He went on to become a college professor, or there was no Henry Jones or Henry Jones Jr. or what have you. And at that point, do I need your rule system? I don't. I can do it with Hero System. I can do it with any number of other RPGs.
You've been invited to play in the Miami Vice
RPG.
Your suit jacket, our sleeves there.
I'll get my linen jacket and my my collarless turquoise
pastel
t-shirt, pastels. Yeah.
Don't forget the skinny tie.
That would
the
be
skinny tie. Yeah, and some Glenn Fry blasting on the radio along with some Phil Collins. Sounds great. Anyway, that just, they tried to make an RPG. Everybody thought it would suck going forward, and then it just got canceled. So
you know, I have to say too, I think that a Miami Vice RPG would be better than a Lara Croft. One of the problems with Lara Croft and Indiana Jones is, like, how many ancient relics can there be that are really worth going after? You know, if everyone's finding the ancient lost tomb of the emperor, whatever, like, how many ancient emperors are there that we didn't know about? You know, or like, how many are going to end up like Geraldo Rivera's
the vault?
Yeah, you know,
vault. Well, that's true. I mean, Miami Vice, you presume there is the rest of the police force. You know?
Yeah,
so they're not the only 2 cops in all of Miami.
There's the rest of the police force. There's various Colombian drug gangs, different ways to get no sugar in and out of Miami. You could switch it up with Venezuelans. You could switch, you know, it's
well, and then you could modernize it. Now it's fentanyl.
Yep.
You know,
yeah,
we've moved on from the cocaine. That's all that. Yeah.
One of the best conceits I think that they ever addressed in Miami Vice, they only do it once or twice, but I always thought it was really, really cool, is there's a few, this is hinted at here and there, is, of course, when we watch Miami Vice, what do we see? We see the black Ferrari Spider that gets blown up in season 3 or 4, and then he gets the white Testarossa, you know, and he wears the expensive clothes and everything. And there, at one point in the show, I mean, I know it happens more than once, but I'm thinking of a specific case where Eddie Olmos, who's
Mhm.
absolutely magnificent actor, dresses down Don Johnson, and he reminds him, he said, "You don't even own the clothes you're wearing. Those are police property." And it's 100% right. He has a tiny sailboat. That is like, he doesn't own a house. He doesn't
Yeah.
own a car. The car is seized property. And Chief Castillo implies that even the clothes are seized property. Like, he's not wearing high plate fashion. That belongs to the police department and is part of his cover. And the day he walks is the day he goes back to blue jeans and t-shirts.
I like the idea that a case comes across his desk and it's a big fat guy. He's like, "No, I don't want to take on this one." So, why? He's a really bad guy. Yeah, his clothes wouldn't fit me. I don't
Exactly. All right,
Or it's a woman.
Yeah, it's a woman.
like
Dress size 2. No.
Two uniforms drive him to the IHOP and just sit him down in a booth, and they're like, "Chief said you gotta go undercover as this guy. Start eating." Here's Don John's like, "Wait, hey, hang on a minute, man. Nope, that's, you got to. Sorry."
Pretty cool. Were we going to talk about summer appropriate nerd hobby stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
What do you got for us, Dungeon Minister?
Well, the thing that I particularly, it's summer, first of all, generally tends to be your big nerd blockbuster movie season. So that's good. And we've talked about a few of the nerdy movies coming out. It tends to be, for those who are into that kind of thing, Renaissance Festival season. I know there's a number of them happening around us. One of the things here in Canada, the Renaissance festivals tend to be these kind of pop-up affairs. It's done at a public park or on a university campus. So there's like tents, and some of the tents are really elaborate, but some of them they went to Canadian Tire and bought a canopy tent and they kind of dress it up a little bit to look medieval. But down there in the States, there are some serious, like, there are buildings, the place sits there all year and doesn't get used until the summer. There's like permanent structures. They're astonishing. But the thing that particularly caught me is that it is much easier in the summer if you're going to spray base your minis, get them done now, because you don't have to stink up your house. Get them done now, because this is the time to spray base your pile of shame, right? If you're going to rattle can it, take them outside, and you don't have to stink up the house. Because I tried to do this during winter, and two things happened. One, the place stunk. I had to, open the windows and turn on the vent fan for like 2 hours to air the place out. But the other thing, even though you'd think the house would be dry with the furnace on, they took forever. They took forever to dry. And I did some the other day out in the garage, just went, and I came back 20 minutes later. They were dry. Yeah, not a Fent van. No, I don't.
Yeah, the Fent van.
The Bristol Ren Fair Canuck is precisely the one that I was thinking of. That's the one I worked at when I was a teenager, and that one and the one in Shakopee, Minnesota. Yeah, they're permanent places. They're around. So that's good stuff to do in the summer. And nerd movies.
Yes, and nerd movies. One thing I want to point out, you're very fortunate about this, Padre. And Yang, I don't know. Have we talked about your miniatures or lack thereof use at your table? Do you or don't you? Or
well, it was interesting. Every time I see Henry Cavill talk about Warhammer 40K, I always think, yes, it's very easy to have an army when you have a Man of Steel income.
Yeah.
I do not. I haven't been playing a lot of in-person D&D, although I am thinking of starting up again. On Twitter, I've been getting all sorts of people who want to make models for me.
Cool.
Excellent.
Coming from questionable countries.
Yes,
okay.
I get that a lot too. I've been
Often
getting
very hot women in those countries. I don't know why they want to make my 3D models, but
I don't think that's the modeling they're going to do for you.
Yeah.
There still may be spray paint involved. You never know.
Oh, well, as long as I have that.
Airbrush. A lot of
but
airbrushing.
but down here in Florida, priming stuff,
Yeah.
like I have to watch the weather to see what it's going to be like, because warm weather is not the only component. I have to look at
No.
humidity,
Yeah.
because we can absolutely get orange peel down here if the weather is too hot and too dry, or too hot and too wet. If it's too hot and too dry, you'll get orange peel because the paint will literally dry midair on its way to the mini. If it's too wet, it will basically group up with the moisture in the air, and instead of having a fine even coating of paint particles, you'll have big blobs.
Well, it gets so humid down there, you can take a painted mini outside and it'll turn back into liquid paint.
Yeah, exactly. How to strip minis: leave them outside in Florida; it'll sweat off. But yeah, it is a real challenge doing any kind of compressed air painting. That's why I largely, and I don't think I can reach any conveniently, but I brush prime.
Yeah.
I just use a very, very thin wash of whatever color primer, black, white, gray, and I will just a single wash of that primer, and then I'll go full hand painting it. But I can't I cannot rely on a rattle can to not put a ton of pilling on the minis. Not that that's not solvable. You take a soft toothbrush and you brush the crumbs off, but at that point you're basically doing your job twice: priming, then scrubbing them clean, then retouching with any primer that you completely removed, and then priming again, and so on and etc. So now that is a good point. TXG points out priming with an airbrush.
Yeah.
That is definitely doable. I do have an airbrush rig around here.
Yeah, so that is a whole element of the hobby I have not gotten into. I do also, on the topic of minis, want to advertise a later stream at 7:00 Eastern tonight. I'm going to be unboxing some minis from Paint Minis Live. Bill, you and I both know Bill.
Yes.
Another Bill.
Yes.
Minnesota Bill. I can't show you the minis that he sent because, of course, they're still in a box, but some of his previous work is just gorgeous. Absolutely amazing stuff. So there's going to be some things I'm unboxing tonight at 7. So if you're around, come back for that.
Yeah.
And check out Paint Minis Live channel as well. Also cool.
Yes. But yeah, summer hobbies. Now, I don't know that this falls into the topic of hobbies, but Yang, you're pressing on with the next leg of Empire, right?
I am. Hopefully in a couple of weeks we will have the pre-launch page done on Kickstarter. We are doing well, first of all, we're having Second Chance campaign because I screwed up the first one and didn't leave it open for people to buy after it was done. That's number one. Number two, the adventure modules were only available if you also bought the print version of the campaign book. I did not realize what an imposition this would be on people, especially Europeans and Australians at the time. Someone pointed out to me that the book I was selling for $65 would become like $130 by the time it got to their European country. And they said, well, it's not worth $130. And I said, fair. That is fair. So you will be able to buy the adventure modules separately. There is a little bit of a change. We are adding Fairy Hill will be a standalone, which you can win later on if you're paying attention.
That's right.
But it will be a standalone purchase in the campaign for VIP, i.e. early backers. And but there will still be 12 modules, so there will be a total of 13. I've got some excellent people who have said they're going to write, so I will probably end up writing about 5, 6 of them, and then the other 6 to 7 will be guest writers of some renown. And also, the big news: Empire of the Undying Sun was always meant to spiritually feel like more like a classic D&D adventure back from the old 1E days, and we will have a 1E version of Empire of the Undying Sun.
Excellent.
That's right. That's right. A version for the best version of D&D.
There's a Backme one? That's awesome.
That's next year, 2026.
Hey.
But anyway, yes. So what Yang and I and Dungeon Minister were talking about, if you missed it a little bit earlier, very shortly, very soon, we are going to be giving away 3 products for free RPG Day. A copy of Crom, Character Record Organization Manager software. A copy of Fairy Hill. Yang, that is a PDF, correct? I don't want to miss.
It is a PDF. Let me see if I can.
All right. So while Yang's bringing that up, and Dungeon Minister, already forgotten the module, but is Saber River for another version of D&D that I guess he likes. No, I kid. Saber River for Beckme, and that is a crispy new wonderful POD copy of Saber River. So software and physical wear you guys get. Elvin Made In asks, Dungeonland UK, they do bring TTRPG books in big bundles. I have all the CNC books from there. Good. I'm so glad you have the CNC books. They are so wonderful to have, especially if your table's a little wobbly. You can just slip those right under that short leg and even them out. Maybe they will help distribute your books in the UK. Yay. Maybe talk to Emmy and see if you can get
Interesting. Well, we are shipping for anybody who wants a print version. Perhaps in the future, we will be able to get that cost down by printing locally and then shipping from there. But for the moment, we will be shipping from the US. And for some reason, I cannot share this window.
I'm not still sharing. I'm not sharing anything, so you should be able to add it.
It is not you. It is me, and I'm not sure. It's saying I can select it, but for some reason, it's just not bringing it up.
All right. I should point out a little bit of trivia, Emmy, in case you didn't know this. Dungeonland is also the name of a very, very, very odd module written by Gary Gygax. Ah, there we go. Okay.
There we go. So let me take us away for just a second. So Fairy Hill. Excellent cover by Peter Gilmore, and
I feel honored to have his artwork on the cover.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that is. It has this this late 60s rock festival poster vibe to it, and I quite like it.
But yes, so that will be what somebody is going to win today.
That's right. Coming up very shortly here. And I don't really know if it's worth showing what Crom looks like. I mean, I can I can run it if people really want to see Crom in action.
At least a shot of the screen would be nice.
Sure. Okay. Let me see. Let me extract all and extract. I just have the archive here.
Oh, that would be a good poster.
Not at the moment, but perhaps in the future, and might be a T-shirt in the future. We will have to see.
That because that's a really cool image. That's a good image.
All right. Let's see. Let's get a nice, good font that'll look good on the screen. That'll be nice and big. All right, let me add this screen real quick if I could, Yang, and we'll take a quick look at Chrome. In case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about when I talk about Chrome, it's this little jewel right here, a little something that I've been working on over many months, because there are no fully feature complete character generators for AD&D beyond a pencil and dice and a paper pad, and that is a fine way to go. But if you want to generate a bunch of characters, like for an event, or if your character bit the dust and you want to quickly get back in the game, or if you want to take one of your pen and paper characters and bring them over to the electronic world so you can more easily manage them, this is the best tool for doing that. And this is the Character Record Organization Manager. And what you can do is you can create a character. We have all 4 versions of character creation. That these are per the Dungeon Master's Guide. And then there's a manual entry method. So if you have that character you created yesterday, just now, last week, last month, last year, decades ago, you can put them in here. We'll just do 3 real quick and I'll show this off. So we do the method 3d6 times for each stat, keep highest for each, and we have a not bad character there. With that dexterity, I'm feeling let's do elf. And yeah, so we've selected elf. We want to go with we'll just say female, and fighter, magic user, thief. And then you can input your levels. We can do 1, 1, and 1. Just start them out. And then there's our weapons. We can get our proficiencies now. We don't have to. We can shop for our proficiencies later. So we can be done. We can shop for our equipment, or we can be done.
Cool.
Yes. And do we want to check for psionics? No, because this is an elf. They don't get psionics. So we say no. And let's make them neutral good, the best good. And I don't know, I'm feeling inspired. Let's call the character Emmy. There's the first level thief abilities with all the bonuses. Enter. We can save it as a text file.
Cool.
Default. And we say yes because we want to load Emmy. And there's the character right on the screen.
What I love is the old school aesthetic of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I didn't want to get
Brilliant.
bogged down in a bunch of windows and menus. So I just said, let's just do text. So fighter, magic user, thief, 4 hit points to start. There's strength with all the bonuses, dexterity, etc. All the coins available, how much stuff they've got, movement, number of spells, thief abilities, and as you can see in the options, we can level up, add XP, drain levels if she smooched the things she wasn't supposed to smooch, change the stats, change the alignment, add or remove money, buy and sell gems and jewelry, get our weapons proficiencies that we didn't do, buy our equipment that we didn't do, add an age, save the character in a new format, or quit. It is truly the best, most feature complete character creator for first edition you could ever want. We are giving away a copy today, and if you don't win, it is still available. You can purchase this. I don't have like a storefront set up for it, so ping me on social media, and I'll it's very back alley. It's very, I slide you the floppy, and you slide me some new yen in the noodle bar.
Hey kid, want to buy a character generator?
Yes. So
if you had a time machine to go back to the 80s, you'd make bank on this.
Yes, absolutely. Compiled, the whole thing is 8 megabytes, so this would be on like 80 floppies for the Commodore 64. This would fill up. This would fill up the entirety of a hard drive for an IBM XT computer back in the day. But also back in the day, I would have been writing this in Pascal or assembly language, so it would probably end up being much smaller. But yeah, so there it is, and we've got a copy to give away today, and or you can buy it. Christopher Snyder, what size floppy? I'm thinking the Commodore 64 170 kilobyte single-sided 1541 floppies. I looked at those things, Orbital Air, but honestly, I just hit a point where I was like, I just want this out here, and I don't want to add. I don't want to add any more code to this. It's like every time I'd go in and change stuff, it would break, and I was just like, "It's working now. It's working now."
It's brilliant that it's not just text; that it's white text on a black background. You know, it's like the white on black, the orange on black, the green on black, back from the old days.
You can change it to make it look like a green phosphor in the terminal screen settings for Windows.
Nice.
If you want this to be like amber on black or green on black or teal on black, you can make it look like that.
Beautiful.
So,
I know on my end, I'm getting close to going out and grilling dinner time.
Okay.
I do have an announcement to make though before we maybe we should get people to enter the contest in the comments.
Okay.
Choose a keyword that they put in there if they want to win something, and then while they're doing so, I can drop my news.
Okay.
Let's do contest in all caps.
Yes. So type contest in all caps. We will count the number of folks. We will roll a die, and we will see who gets it. So do we want to just do all of these? Like we'll roll, all prizes are in, and we roll 3 times. Do we want to do separate ones for each? What do you gentlemen want to do?
Maybe we'll do one roll for each one.
Okay, roll for each one. So Kennick is the first one. I think should be Fairy Hill. You guys agree?
Sure. Doesn't matter what the. Yeah. So
Well,
start getting your.
Yeah. While people are putting it in, Dungeon Minister, tell us your plans to rule the world of Canadian conventions.
Well, first you have to take over the Canadian Army. So I got a couple guys. We're going to do that tomorrow. But no, what I want to announce is that Claricon is, and I just shared that up there. Claricon is the registration for that is live. It is going to be October 24th through 26th, and we are going to. It's in Glen Williams, Ontario. Yeah, I shared the thing. Do I have to put it on screen or do you?
Yeah. If you share it, I can put it. Oh, wait, no, that's. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Excellent. No worries. So, Claricon's happening in late October in Glen Williams. The address of it is claricon2025.rsvpfi.com. And this is some shots from earlier Claricons, and the whole thing is going to be brilliant. We are bigger this year. We've expanded to the town hall in Glen Williams. That's not like an official, actual town hall. There's no governmental activity, but it's just a building down about 3-4 minute walk from our original venue. But that just means more tables, and so there are 11 tables total. Of games happening on Saturday for a couple of the slots on Saturday. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some great vendors coming. BS Games is coming back again. There's some other vendors I'm still in talks with, and hopefully we'll find out more about who's coming there. But some great names are coming on up to run games. Bandits Keep. Bear, the Gen X GM, is there. Dirty Basement Terrain won't be there, but he has sent a truly massive box of minis So everyone who comes gets a mini. And there's a lot of his stuff will be for auction. Grumpy Old Slan, Hex Press, Mage's Musings. Paint Mini's live. We're hoping he can come back. He's still figuring that out. It's quite a drive. Tale of the Manticore and Ye Old Geek. So there's going to be really cool folks coming up. And yeah, so that's late October. The registrations are now live. And there's already people registered. So there's all sorts of good stuff happening. Yeah. That's my big news. It's live as of today.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see. So far, this is for a drawing of Fairy Hill. Now, if you don't win, you can still put your name in the hat for other prizes. But we have Kanek won. Fate Master Cesium, Jorge Uribe, Jay Tyler, Gary Bovey, Fighter Steve, Elvin Made In, I Was a Poor Orc Child, and Christopher Snyder. If you want in, we'll give a few more calls for entries.
Sorry, did you say TXG?
I did not say TXG. Did he?
Okay. He did. I had him on my list.
You have, okay. So
I have 10 people total.
You have 10 people. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I concur. I have 10. We're sitting in the silo. I have 10. Concur.
As the call's gone out for more, I'll answer a couple questions. I am hoping that we will get some virtual online games. I've heard from somebody who you may have heard of who said he would run a game for it. Now,
I'll try and run as good a virtual game as you ran at Guac.
I'm sorry. It was just the worst possible time for me. It was just I couldn't even get my pants on. I was a mess.
I didn't need to know that.
It was terrible. And yes, there will be another onion eating contest. That is the Bob Johnny onion eating contest is a regular feature of it, and that is a whole white onion, and whoever eats it fastest, whoever gets their onion finished first, wins.
Emmy, I did see your entry. We do have you on the list. You are currently slotted in at number 7. Or I'm sorry, position 8. So Yang, call the ball. Are we going once?
Yes.
Going twice?
Sold.
We are closed on the contest for Fairy Hill. Now I have 10 here. Yang, do you want to you know what? Because we have 10, I think we may be able to do this on DD Dice. Do you want to do it on DD Dice?
Heck yeah.
All right. Let me make sure I've got that open so that'll work. And Yang, go ahead and let her rip.
All right. Come on. Why? Oh, DD Dice.
Oh, of course.
You fickle mistress. All right, here we go. 9.
That is a 9. Who do you have in slot 9 on your list, Yang?
I was raised a poor orc child.
There you go. Congratulations, poor orc child. You are a winner of Fairy Hill, a module I put a lot of work into, and I am very, very proud of. I think it has been graced with some absolutely beautiful art, some wonderfully dark fairy tale storytelling in it, and some excellent mapping by arguably the most patient cartographer in the world, Yang. Okay. All right. So that was Fairy Hill. Now, let's see. I'm going to bonk you off the list.
Bonk.
The code word for now, if you were in the last contest, actually, you know what? I'm just going to reset the list. Because that could get super confusing. The code word for Crom is EMI, EMI. If you want in on the contest, type caps lock EMI in the list, and I will get your name for a copy of Crom, the Character Record Organization Manager. So, gentlemen, start your keyboards. If you were in the last contest, it does not follow that you will be included in the next contest. So please, if you want a shot at Crom, you got to type it. All right. So, all right. Fate Master Cesium, I got you. That is one. Oh, wow.
So I was like bunching at once.
Yeah. So
Elvin made TXG. Elvin made did twice.
yeah. Gary Bovey,
Gary and
Fighter
Fighter
Steve. Do you fight Steves or all right, so far we have Fate Master Cesium, Emmy, TXG, Gary Bovey, and Fighter Steve are entered for Crom. I've never prayed to you before. I have no tongue for it. All right, Jorge. And the nice thing about this is I don't have to mail it to you guys. Dungeon Minister is going to end up like being out of
That's
pocket.
all right.
Yeah, 100
You know
bucks.
that one's going to Emmy.
People
Going
have
as far as it can possibly go.
people have mailed me so much stuff. I really, I don't mind. I don't mind.
I've got something for Jorge. Jorge is literally at the end of the planet. Yes, like to the ends of the world. Yes, he is there. So I got let's see. Cheeseburger. Okay. I got you there. Anyway, some people have asked me, am I going to do a Mac version? Am I going to do a Linux version? A Mac version is, I don't want to say in the works, but it's on its way. It is planned. A Macintosh version of Crom is going to be done. A Linux version, I'm really hesitant to do. I may end up doing it. I know that a lot of folks who use Linux are kind of particular about their software being open source. And I'm not open sourcing it. I'm sorry. I'm not open sourcing it at all. This will not be open sourced. So early on, some people were like, hey, you're going to open source this? And I'll look at it. I've looked at it and I'm not giving it. Maybe at some point in the distant future. Yes, TXG, you may be able to run it under Wine and Linux. It makes very, very, very few function calls to Windows APIs. I would imagine it should probably be okay to run in Wine. But hey, if somebody out there who dual boots Linux and Windows wants to test it out and take a shot and see if it runs under Wine, if it runs under Wine, guess what? I've got a Linux version. Okay, guys, I've kind of prattled about this. I have, and check me on this, gentlemen, if you've been keeping track. I have Fate Master Cesium. I've got Emmy. I've got TXG. I've got Gary Bovey. I've got Fighter Steve. I've got Jorge Uribe, and I've got Cheese Booger. If you did not hear your name called and you want a copy of the Crom, the Character Record Organization Manager software, then please give me a capital EMI in the description. It is compiled Python Orbital. It is compiled Python. It is a run once exe. Am I going to play around with cleaning up the API version so it's menu driven? No. What you see is what you've got. That is the UI that I want it to have. That is the way I want it to look. Text prompts. But yeah, you could use VirtualBox also. You could do a little Windows install in VirtualBox. And despite what it looks like, it is not a DOS program. It will not run in DOSBox or DOSBox X. I promise you that. It is a Windows thing. All right. I'm not seeing anyone else. Now, what I'm going to have to do for the die roll is I'm going to have to do this in a die roller from my Discord, because this is I've got 7 people.
You could just roll an 8 and drop, and if you get an 8, you re-roll.
I can, but it's unbalanced. Orbital Layer, what if I make an open source clone? You're free to do whatever you want. If you think you can write a piece of software that does everything this does, and you can clean room it without looking at my code, you're welcome to. I'm not saying that I'm the only game in town and I'm the only person who's allowed to do it. I'm just not going to give away my source code. Alrighty, going once, going twice.
Hey, Grumpy
Old Slan, do you want to win a copy of the CROM, the Character Record Online Organization Manager for First Edition Advanced Characters? The software I have written. We are holding it going twice. We need to see if Grumpy Old Slan wants in.
Slan is awesome, by the way. Check his channel out too.
All right.
He does. He reads from old Weird Tales magazines and does a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, indeed.
That's probably my favorite that he does.
All right. We're holding there. Orbital Layer said, "Code wants to be free. I wants to get paid. I wants to make money from the fruit of my labors." Run the DCC dice roller. Probably won't run on your machine. Okay. All right. Going 3 times. And gone. Okay. So we got 7 here. Let me hop over into the Discord. And we will have a gander. Let me pull this up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull up my old... let's see. Let's do the dice only. And I should be able to share this. And what I will do is I will roll the dice and then I will cut and paste the window so you guys can see. So we're going to do familiar roll 1d7. It is thinking. All right, I'm going to cut and paste this, and we're going to see which one it is. Mode, rectangle, snip. All right, so it is cut, and let me see if I can share this with you guys after I call it out. So that was 4, 1, 2. All right, and congratulations, Gary Bovey. You have won. Gary Bovey. All right, and let me show you guys the die roll. And Yang, if you could put that up on Still Store. There you go, Gary Bovey. Rolled a 4, and you were the 4th down the list. So congratulations, Gary Bovey. Send me your email address. I will send you a copy of CROM 1.5G. So there you go, my friend. CROM. Congratulations. Gary Bovey. I will make a note here. CROM winner.
Sorry, and I was raised a poor orc child. Send me some sort of contact place to send you Fairy Hill. If I don't hear from you in the stream, send it to me over on Twitter.
All right, so that leaves us with a single drawing. So Dungeon Minister can get to his barbecuing. We're just going to jump right over into that. I'm going to say that if you are interested in winning a copy of
Saber River,
go ahead and put Father in all caps. father is the code word. Father.
And for the winner of that, obviously, I will need an address because it's a
Yes,
thing.
indeed.
It's not a file.
And by the way, again, I mentioned this earlier. If you're out in the audience, and you didn't hear me mention this earlier, we have a brand new build of Chrome that addresses some quality of life issues. If you haven't seen that link lately messaged to you, oh my God, okay, then email me. Let's see. So I got Canic, Femcesium, I got TXG, Michael Dale, Emmy, Fighter Steve, Jay Tyler, Grumpy Old Slan.
Oh, and speaking of Slan, if you are coming to Claricon, then I can just hand it to you. You'll have to wait till.
There you go, convenient.
Christmas cards as well. I don't even send Christmas cards to my mother, Kanik. I don't think I could do that.
Poor Orc Child says, not on Twitter, but I'm in on your campaign. Yang, I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, okay. Then send me a message on Kickstarter and I will send it to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9.
RPG Day goodness. Let me do a confirm with you there, Padre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm seeing 8. Let me scroll back down.
Jay Tyler, Slan, Steve, Emmy, Dale, TXG, Snyder, Fate Master, Kanik.
Okay, I missed Snyder. Okay, so yeah, I'm counting 9, and you called the ball on when we're cutting off. So
all right. I think everyone's pretty much on there. We'll give it a couple more because of the lag in the chat. So
yes,
Father in the hey, there's Jorge as well.
All right, Jorge Reed.
Okay. All right. This is for the physical copy, and what I'm going to do for rolling, we're going to call it soon here. We'll give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5. No, 1, and closed. Okay, so we got 10 then, right? 10. Fate Masters, Chris, TXT. Yep, Michael Dale.
Do you want the link to the on-screen die roller?
No, I'm going to go old school here.
All right,
old school.
Okay. Go old.
And here it is. We got 10, and I've got them on my screen here. And here's our roll. That's a 10.
That's a 10. Jorge, you're
That's a 10. Jorge, you're getting it.
There you go, brother.
So,
literally, the man at the North Pole is sending it to the man at the South Pole.
That's brilliant. You know what, though? To be honest, it probably won't cost all that much. So, Jorge, my email address is thedungeonminister@gmail.com. You can send me an email. Let me know where this goes, and I will mail it to you.
All right. So I think that was a rather cromulent free RPG day.
Ding dang.
Yes. I think we did rather well.
Yes.
So thank you everyone who participated. For those of you who didn't win, you can still get Fairy Hill from Yang. You can get you can get Crom from me. Just reach out to me, bsylvia@gmail.com, if you want to pick up a copy of Crom. It's $25. I mean, to be 100% honest with you, it's absolutely worth the cash. Jorge will drop you an email, Padre.
Excellent. And I only have one of these, so If you didn't win, too bad, suckers.
Yeah. He's got that Old Testament definition of charity. So
Yeah.
But anyway, gentlemen, do we have any unfinished business for the week?
Not that I have.
I think we are finished for this month's session. Next month, we will see how our plans have worked in our goal of world domination and not sweating so much.
Yes.
And not sweating so much. I will be now. We can discuss this amongst ourselves, gentlemen, but remember, I will be in lovely downtown Lake Geneva for the 4 days of EggCon. But again, that's for us to sort out. Sorry, Vince. sorry, buddy. Anyway, yes, congratulations to everyone. Thank you all for being here. And gentlemen, I think that just about concludes this month's meeting of the Nerd Council of Doom.
Yes. All right. Good evening, everyone. And remember, please subscribe to @the Nerd Council of Doom over on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and we will be back soon.